If you can't afford $80 for GTA 6, you should get a new hobby. This is an actual statement that Colin Moriarty has posted over on Twitter, and it might be one of the stupidest arguments I've seen during the entire GTA 6 pricing discussion, and there's many layers to this discussion. Now, not because that GTA 6 it definitely is or isn't worth the $80 USD. In my opinion, I don't like what they're doing with setting this new standard for pricing and effectively paywalling trailers, which I think actually comes out by tomorrow or something like that. But apparently, if you don't just immediately accept whatever price Rockstar writes on a box with no disc in it, by the way, you are no longer financially qualified to enjoy video games. Financially qualified to enjoy video games. What a statement that is. I don't think I've seen a more completely delusional way to look at this hobby in a long time. It always fascinates me and never ceases to amaze me just how far corporate industry shills will go to defend a billion-dollar company. And before anybody accuses me of just being another Rockstar hater, I fully expect GTA 6 to probably be one of the most biggest and technically impressive games ever released in my lifetime. Rockstar has an absolute amazing track record with its major single-player games. GTA 5 was enormous, Red Dead Redemption 2 is considered one of the most detailed open worlds ever created, and if GTA 6 offers hundreds of hours of high quality content, then yeah, maybe down the line there could be somewhat of an argument that it better represents that form of value entertainment with its dollar value. I doubt it though, personally. But if this game is to be worth $80, and if anyone who can't afford it needs a new hobby, these are two completely different arguments. The first one is about value. And the second one is just, I don't know, what would you call this? Poor shaming while pretending that you've made an intelligent point when you really haven't. Affordability is not the same as value. A good car could be worth, I don't know, $50,000. That doesn't magically put $50,000 into my bank account. Somebody can recognize that GTA 6 contains an enormous amount of work and still decide that they just cannot justify spending $80 USD or $130 Australian for one game at launch, and that's not including the Super Ultra Omega Edition, which is $100 USD, which effectively has the full game in it. People have rent. People have mortgages. There's people with children. There's people with bills, medical expenses, debt, unstable employment, and the cost of living that has been beating the absolute shit out of all of us. Sometimes the difference between buying a game and waiting 3 months is not due to a lack of passion for gaming. Sometimes it's just being a responsible adult. But according to this logic, if spending $80 on entertainment requires any thought whatsoever, you should apparently just abandon an entire hobby. Fuck it, just sell your console, delete your Steam account. You have just been declared too poor to buy gaming by Twitter's finance department from Colin Moriarty. Can't help but wonder if he would say the same if this game was an Xbox exclusive though. It's absolutely ridiculous. Gaming is not defined by purchasing every major release on day one. Not that anyone could afford that anyway. That has never been a requirement. Someone playing a 10-year-old game they bought for $5 is still gaming. Someone borrowing games from a friend is still gaming. And someone waiting for a sale is still a gamer. Someone replaying the same game for 5 years because they love it is still just as much of a gamer as the person that pre-orders every Ultimate Edition the second it appears online. Not that I think anyone can afford that again. In fact, the ability to buy older games cheaply is one of the best things about this hobby. There are decades of incredible games available right now. I haven't played for all my backlog, and I'm positive you haven't played for all your backlog as well. You could spend years playing classics, indie games, discounted releases, and games you already owned without paying $80 for a single one of them. So telling someone that they need to get a new hobby because they can't afford one specific new release fundamentally just misunderstands what gaming actually is. GTA 6 is not the entire medium. It is really just one video game. A gigantic and probably an important video game, but still only one. You don't lose your gamer license because you can't buy it or choose not to buy it in November. The other problem is the complete lack of consumer perspective here. GTA 6 is not being sold by some struggling artist attempting to survive in a small indie team. GTA 6 is owned by Take-Two and Rockstar, and they are massive companies selling one of the most commercially powerful entertainment products in history. GTA 5 alone has sold around 230 million copies. GTA 6 is expected to generate billions of dollars. They do not need people on Twitter defending their pricing decisions by telling less wealthy customers to find another hobby. No, either way, Rockstar will be fine. Consumers are allowed to question the price. In fact, I would encourage it. This is how a market is supposed to work. A company establishes what it wants to charge, and then consumers decide whether that price is reasonable, and both sides try to act in their own interest. It's always been a balancing game, and that just goes across everything, doesn't it? And do not get it twisted, the corporation is not your friend. You don't receive a medal because you volunteered to pay more money without asking any questions, and questioning this $80 price does not necessarily mean that someone believes the developers should be underpaid or that games should be cheap forever. I would like cheaper games, but it doesn't mean they all have to be $20. Teams are larger, productions can take longer, and technology can become more complicated, and as wages and equipment and practically every other operating cost has increased. There is a legitimate discussion to be had about whether the old $60 and $70 pricing models will remain sustainable for the whole industry. But publishers also have more ways to make money from games than ever before. There's premium editions, DLC, microtransactions, subscriptions, battle passes, cosmetics, in-game currency, and blah-bitty-blah-bitty-blah. Online modes are designed to generate revenue for years. GTA 5 did not stop making money after somebody purchased the base game. GTA Online became a colossal reoccurring business of its own. And the pre-orders from GTA 6 include a free month of GTA Plus, which automatically renews unless it's cancelled, so they're probably going to catch a few people with that. And let's not pretend this $80 purchase is some charitable donation to keep the lights on at Rockstar. This is an extremely sophisticated commercial product designed to generate money long after its launch. And consumers are entitled to examine the entire package before deciding what it's worth to them. And that includes another important detail, the so-called physical edition that doesn't even contain a disc. It contains a download code in a box. Now, you can debate whether the physical media still matters to you personally, but removing the disc reduces what the customer can actually do with the product. You cannot lend that code to a friend after redeeming it. You can't trade it in or resell it. You don't have a functioning copy sitting in the disc. So while the base price has increased, some of the traditional flexibility and ownership attached to buying a physical game is disappearing. And this is absolutely something consumers are allowed to criticize. And then we have the precedent that this could establish. GTA 6 does occupy a very unique position. It may be the only game in the world capable of charging $80 and facing almost no meaningful resistance in the long term. Take-Two understands that, and Rockstar understands that. Everybody understands that millions of people will purchase this game regardless of the price. But we have to remember that other publishers are watching this. They will see whether GTA 6 successfully moves the acceptable price ceiling. And the problem is that every other publisher wants to copy that price, while very few will be able to copy the circumstances surrounding this product. Rockstar might deliver a massive polished open world capable of justifying the extra cost. But that does not mean that every annual franchise, unfinished live service game, and broken launch suddenly deserves the same price. And hypothetically, GTA 6 potentially could end up being worth the $80. Very much doubt that, but let's just say it is. That does not automatically make $80 the correct standard price for the entire industry. And the consumers pushing back against that possibility aren't delusional, they're doing exactly what consumers should do. They're asking what they're receiving for their money. Personally, I'm probably not going to get GTA 6. 1, I don't have a console. 2, I'm not really interested in these newer GTA games. I'm sure that eventually when it comes to PC and it goes on a bit of a discount, I will probably pick it up. But it's not really something I'm interested in, especially at launch. But all of these positions can coexist. That is the nuance that is completely missing from what Colin is saying here. You can't afford something and can still think it's overpriced. You can believe something offers good value and still sympathize with people that can't afford it. You can love gaming without organizing your finances around the release schedule of a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And no, just because some people can't afford GTA 6 does not mean they need a different hobby. Maybe they just need to wait for a sale or put some money aside. They might decide that another game offers better value. Again, this all comes back to being a responsible adult. There's been quite a few games that I would have liked to have got on day one, but I've looked over at the fridge and gone, oh shit, there's an electricity bill due. I should probably pay that first. And by no means does that mean that I need a different hobby. Again, it's just being a responsible adult. The truly delusional problem is believing that a person's place in this hobby should be determined by how easily they can spend $80, USD again, on a Take-Two game. By all means, GTA 6, maybe it is going to be the masterpiece that a lot of people are hoping for. It could potentially offer thousands of hours of entertainment. It could be worth every dollar that Rockstar is charging. But if your defense of the price is, poor people should stop gaming, you haven't defended the price at all. You're just an EFOT.